Going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. I got a question for you. What do you think is going to happen after Donald Trump? You think it's going to be over? If you think it's going to be over, then you got another thing coming. Because you know who's right behind? You know who's right behind him? JD Vance. JD Vance is sitting there waiting for Donald Trump to either, kick the bucket or get arrested, or he's waiting for his chance to run for the presidency of the United States. You see, JD Vance, all right, what makes him so dangerous is because he's willing to do anything for money. He's willing to do anything for the multi-billion-dollar corporations that's running this fascist operation. He's willing to do anything. He has no spine. He has no integrity. He does not stand on any platform worth anything. But they're going to push him because he's young, right, comparatively, right? And he'll do anything. And unfortunately, he was a United States Marine, right? And I'm a United States Marine, right? And as a United States Marine, I'm telling you, that piece of shit doesn't deserve the Egan Global anchor that he supposedly earned, all right? He's an enemy of America, JD Vance. Now, they're going to push JD Vance as some sort of neoliberal, conservative, middle ground candidate once it's his turn to run. If, if Donald Trump don't kick the bucket because the guy is old, right? They placed him right there because he and behind JD Vance is organizations that are trying to take over all the small farms in the middle of America, all the beef producing small businesses in America. You see, this is corporate takeover. And JD Vance is that pliable, spineless individual that will sit there and do everything that his handlers tell him to do, just so he can be the president of the United States. So when a new election comes up, hopefully that's the way it is. That way we have a choice, right? Because if Donald Trump kicked the bucket, right, which it looks like he's coming close to, I don't see him lasting. To be honest, I don't see him lasting, another three years, right? And I think that's by design, because the only thing, and I said this before in my other videos, as soon as Donald Trump signed that big beautiful bill, that's when they didn't need him anymore. You see, they're gonna put all the onus and all the debauchery of what's been going on Donald Trump when he kicks the bucket. Everybody's gonna come out with a book about how they tried to resist and how they tried to do that. They're gonna try to rebrand away from Donald Trump and MAGA, right? They're gonna try to make themselves look like they were in the inside resisting, but nobody knew it, as if they're unsung heroes. That's how they're gonna try to make it, because they no longer need Donald Trump. Donald Trump's job is done. As you can tell, Donald Trump is not smart enough to do any of the stuff that he's doing. Donald Trump is not smart enough to do any of the stuff he is doing. His history says so. Every business he ever tried to run failed. Every product he ever tried to produce failed. Everything Donald Trump's ever done was a failure. But he managed to fail all the way to the White House. Why? Because he represents white supremacy. He's the mascot of white supremacy, but he's not the mastermind behind all this shit going on. Donald Trump don't got the capacity to do all this shit he's doing. But as long as he can take credit for it, as long as he in his mind he can look good, he can play with his Tonka trucks, he can get awards and shit like that. That's all you have to do, is give him a couple compliments, give him an award, and make him feel like he's on top of the world. And that's all you got to do for him. He's a very simple-minded person. If Donald Trump was not rich, he would be a failure. He'd be homeless. And of course, to destroy America, they put Donald Trump at the helm. What better person to destroy America than Donald Trump, who has destroyed every business he's ever tried to run, who destroyed every product he's ever tried to run, who destroyed everything he ever put his hands on, who's nothing but a failure propped up by his daddy's money. That's it. And favors because of his daddy. But everybody need to watch out for JD Vance, right? Just like that Florida governor with that, I forgot his damn name. They tried to use him, but he ain't have enough oomph to beat Donald Trump. But we have to watch out for the ones that's willing to do everything Donald Trump does, but that's a little bit smarter. Because right now, JD Vance is seeing everything that Donald Trump is doing, all the mistakes that he's made, which is pretty much everything. And he's making sure he curtail his policies to where it don't look that way. But best believe, JD Vance is the clear and present danger we need to eliminate from politics when it is time. Hopefully, the old geezer Donald Trump make it 3 goddamn years so he don't get pushed in there, due to procedure. But anyway, y'all keep that in mind. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach them. I'm out.
Everybody's waiting for the Trump show to implode. The trials, the chaos, the age, something, right? But nobody's asking what comes after. The answer is chilling. J.D. Vance. Because if Trump is the face of MAGA, J.D. Vance is the prototype built in a lab by billionaires who studied everything that Trump got wrong and decided to perfect it. So let's be real, J.D. Vance did not crawl out of poverty and bootstrap his way up. He was engineered, funded. Peter Thiel, the same billionaire who helped bankroll Facebook, who dreams of rewriting democracy, poured millions into making Vance the one. They took a Yale law grad, a Wall Street insider, and turned him into hillbilly JD, the flannel-wearing everyman. His memoir wasn't empowerment. It was bait. A story sold to elites about poor white Appalachia. Also, they could feel superior and he could launch himself into power. But here's the difference. Trump stumbled into power. He tripped on celebrity and white grievance and accidentally became president. He never thought he'd win. We never thought he'd win. What? Billionaires tolerated him, but they couldn't control him. Vance, he is control. He's the dream candidate for the ultra-rich. Smart enough to carry out an agenda. Cynical enough to flip-flop on his beliefs. And ruthless enough to clock cruelty in calm speeches. He once called Trump America's Hitler, and then sold his soul for power once he realized that MAGA was the ticket. And that's what makes him worse, right? Trump's reckless, we all know that. Vance, though, Vance is precise. History teaches us it is never the loudest fire starter who cements authoritarian rule. It's the polished successor that builds the system that lasts. With Vance at the helm, you don't just get book bans in Florida. You get national curriculum written by billionaires. You don't just get immigration walls. You get mass raids, surveillance, and whole communities forced into silence. You don't just get conservative judges. You get a judiciary hardwired to protect billionaire power and lock ordinary people out for decades. And here's the trap. People are gonna relax. They'll say, at least he's not Trump. At least he sounds normal. But normal is not safe, y'all. It's more dangerous. Because billionaires don't want chaos. They want order. The kind of order that benefits them and crushes everyone else. So don't be fooled. J.D. Vance is not a leader. He's a project. A billionaire Frankenstein. Trump was the test run, and J.D. is the upgrade. And history is clear. Empires don't collapse with the clown at the top. They endure when the polished, calculated air takes over and locks the system in place. That's why when Trump falls, J.D. Vance doesn't just rise. He cements everything that Trump only dreamed of.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Wait. Before you go, for all my subscribers and philanthropists out there, I'm building a solar power community water bowl system in Nigeria. It's going to cost between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm trying to raise money. If you want to participate and help me build this solar power water system, please donate to the Cash App and put solar water in the notes. Solar water in the notes. I'll put PayPal, Stripe, and Zelle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.